Yo, it's cold out there. Just kidding. Now it's really hot. Wait, hold on. Nope, it's cold again. The weather changes faster than Beyonce in between sets on a world tour. And our skin is going through it. So today we are talking about 7 things that you must do this month with your skin. You know, unless of course you want your skin to be very dry and crusty looking. Number 1, you have got to get a humidifier, friend. The air is getting drier and colder outside, and then when you add in indoor heating, yo, we're lucky our skin doesn't just crack open. A humidifier is gonna add that much needed moisture to the air, and your skin is gonna thank you. And if you're like me, so will your sinuses. I don't know if y'all might hear a little hoarseness in my throat. That's because I was sleeping without running my humidifier. Now, I love this one because it's bougie looking. It goes with the decor in my bedroom. It's easy to clean, easy to refill. But I'll also link to some other humidifiers in the description box. But just so you know, a humidifier can be something as simple as putting a bowl of water near your heat source. You know, obviously don't let the water spill into the heat source, but you know, I think you understood that. So number 2, you are going to cycle the actives. Now, the internet has a way of coining terms for things that we've done, you know, since forever, but it is actually kind of helpful because it is a term and then people know exactly what it is that you're talking about. But this month, you definitely want to look into skin cycling because yesterday's skin actives may not be today's skin actives. So for example, that exfoliant that you were using 2 to 3 times a week in the warmer months, that might actually irritate weather-worn skin. By the way, in case you were wondering, actives are things that cause a change to your skin. So exfoliants, vitamin C, retinoids, niacinamide, hydroquinone, kojic acid, etc. So take me and my skin, for example. I have been using prescription tretinoin for years. I currently get it from agency, which allows me to either inch up or inch down in the percentage that I'm using without ever having to leave my house. Because, you know, I got my licensed dermatology provider. Well, not even on call. I ain't even got to pick up, well, I mean, you do kind of pick up the phone to go through the app or on your laptop, but I don't have to call anybody on the phone to, you know, assess my situation with my tretinoin. So tretinoin, absolutely love it. It's an amazing ingredient with long receipts of its efficacy for the skin. And it does amazing things for the skin. Like it can help with skin texture, it can help to even the skin tone, it can help with discoloration, and it can also help to prevent some of the premature signs of aging. Like it helps with fine lines and wrinkles as well, which is how I personally like to use it because, you know, we're trying to preserve, you know, for as long as possible. So like I said, I've been using tretinoin for years. My skin is used to it. I use it pretty much every night, except maybe I'll probably switch it out if I'm using a chemical exfoliant that night. But as it gets a little colder out, if my skin is a little dry, a little weather worn, a little sensitive, I might kind of dial back how often I use the tretinoin because, you know, I don't want to cause any further irritation. Now, me, I'm a whole skincare expert, so I know when my skin needs things and when it doesn't need certain things. But you might be there like, all right, but what am I supposed to do? And this is why I love Agency, and shout out to Agency for sponsoring this portion of the video. So I've had a subscription with Agency for either a year, a little bit over a year now. And what I love about Agency is the fact that you can get custom prescription skincare. You don't have to leave your house. So you take a quiz about your skin, you take some pictures, you send it over. A licensed dermatology provider at Agency is going to look this over and determine which active ingredients at which percentage are going to go into your custom prescription formula. So they have the Future formula, which is what I use, and they also have a dark spot formula, which is great for older dark spots. So those are the dark spots that you've had for more than 4 months, you know, a year, 2 years, you know, what have you. You can check out this video for more information on the levels of dark spots, but this is one of the first lines of defense that you can use because sometimes with older dark spots, you're not going to get the type of results that you want with things that you can buy over the counter. And typically that first line of defense is a prescription cream, but check out this video for more info on that. Another thing I really love about Agency is the fact that they're not just gonna leave you hanging with your skincare. Just be like, beat it, go ahead and use it. So there is a portal which will detail how often you should be using your custom prescription formula, what you should use it with, what you shouldn't use it with, and your licensed dermatology provider is going to keep up with you, you know, check in every now and again, see how your skin is doing to determine if they need to inch you up or inch you down with the percentage of the active ingredients, or maybe even switch out the active ingredients. Because for instance, with the dark spot formula, which I got because I started to develop some dark spots underneath my chin area, and I thought that, I was going to, need the dark spot formula, but we doing good, Because the facial hair, we talked about the facial hairs and other things they don't tell you about aging in this video right here, so check that out. This uses hydroquinone, which is an active ingredient that works amazing for dark spots, but it should only be used short term. So something like 2 to 3 months on, and then you take a break, and then if needed, you go back on. So with something like this, it's so good that you have those licensed dermatology providers at agency, because then you're not gonna go wind up using the hydroquinone long term, which is great to have that kind of guidance with the licensed dermatology providers at agency, because then you're not using something in a way that you're not supposed to. And man, if I had $1 for every time one of y'all did something to your skin that you wasn't supposed to do, like, I could just retire this channel and just take your money. Anyway, if you want to try out agency, which a lot of you have, and you've given lots of amazing feedback on how it's working well for you. If it is your first time trying it out, you can get your first box for $15. Make sure you check out the information in the description box. And I'll also put a QR code up here in case you're watching from your TV, and that way you can just scan it with your phone and you can get your agency's skincare started up today. So yeah, so I pay attention to my skin. I look at it. I'm like, is she feeling dry? Is she feeling oily? Does she feel sensitive? Does she feel dehydrated? Is she glowing? Does she look dull? And then I assess, what I'm gonna be doing with my skin. But the second I feel like my skin is a little sensitive, it's a little dry, I cycle out of the actives and focus more on hydrating and moisturizing, and I keep doing that until my skin is back to normal, and then I slowly, keyword slowly, add the actives back into my routine. Number 3, you're probably gonna wanna consider switching to a more hydrating cleanser and moisturizer. These are usually the first items in your skincare routine to consider switching as the weather gets colder. However, seeing as how it was 80 degrees and then 50 degrees in the same week, I gotta consult my weather app before I decide which cleanser, moisturizer, or sunscreen I'm gonna use that day. And speaking of, y'all wear your sunscreen. The amount of comments that I get that black people don't need sunscreen still in 2024 just tickles me. Now, we may not burn as much as our white counterparts, but hear me out, we still can burn, and we do. However, 2 of the biggest reasons to wear sunscreens is 1, sun exposure worsens hyperpigmentation. So if you have dark spots that you're trying to get rid of, or if you have or especially if you have melasma, you better put that sunscreen on, because that sun exposure is just gonna make matters worse for you. And then 2, we love to say that black don't crack, but it can fold, and some of it does crack. So sunscreen also helps to prevent some of the premature signs of aging. The aging is gonna happen, but you don't need it to happen before it's time. Number 5, turn the water temperature down. Like, I always have to mention this in these videos because y'all like to shower in hell hot water. And nobody is telling you to take an ice cold bath. Just turn the water temperature down from burn ward to maybe warm, Now, the reason why you want to be mindful of this is that hot water zaps the skin of moisture, and the skin is already fighting for its life this time of year to hold that moisture in, because the cold, dry temperatures are just trying to zap all of the moisture from the skin. And then here your crazy behind goes with the hot showers. You're gonna love it. Your skin is gonna feel less itchy, less dry. And no, you do not need fire hot water to be clean. They make soap for that, and you'll be clean with the soap and a normal water temperature. Oh, and also, because some of y'all be like, well, I'm gonna take my hot shower, I'm just gonna double up on the butters. Like, you already caused yourself an injury. It's like saying, like, all right, well, I cut myself, I'm just gonna put a Band-Aid on. How about you stop the injury? All right, number 6, some of y'all might not like this one. You might not like it, but I'm gonna say it anyway, and that is to go easy on alcohol this month and next month. And the month after that, and forever. No, but especially this time of year, because there's gonna be so many social gatherings and so many drink options that I implore you to chase each of your cocktails with a full glass of water. Now, I ain't gotta be the one to tell you, but maybe I do gotta be the one to tell you, but alcohol is one of the biggest haters of skin progress. At the least, it can dehydrate the skin, and dehydrated skin, try as it might, it just has a hard time, glowing because it's dehydrated. And not to mention the number of things it can do to your other organs. Now, I'm not saying not to drink at all, because I myself love a splash. Well, this is not a splash, but you get, damn, I gotta give y'all the recipe to this. But you get what I mean. Just make sure for every one of these, you get a full one of these, water. But try not to spill it on yourself like I just did. Side note, the recipe for this, oh my God, this is so good. Blue curacao, lemonade, pineapple juice, white rum, coconut rum. I had this for my Halloween party. It was a hit. People were like scraping the bowl. Now, mind you, I have parties and a lot of times there's alcohol left over. This is the first time I'm seeing like people taking the ladle and scraping to get the last bits of alcohol out of the bowl. Number 7. All right. Some of you might not really like this one, but I come in peace. And that is, you got to watch your sugar. Oh, and maybe your dairy too. I'm just saying, maybe. Like, ooh. Let me explain. Myself included. Now, I was pretty diligent making sure that my sugar intake did not exceed what it should be. But then, I had some younger family members come and stay with me. And I kept eating like I was one of them. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take me to recover from all of that. But I hope to be back on schedule very soon. But I'm kind of glad in a way because it made me realize how quickly sugar can be my downfall. Like seriously, it works quickly. If I have a lot of sugar over, and now mind you, sugar, I'm not just talking about the stuff that you put in your coffee, your tea. You gotta look at these labels. Well, you get the idea. Look at the labels, especially the sauces that we're putting on our food. A lot of the food that we're gonna be eating this month, a lot of those sauces have a lot of extra added sugar. And then it's like, before you know it, there's the uncomfortable bloating, the weight gain. All of a sudden, you can't fit into something that you used to be able to fit into. And those are just the side effects that we can see with the naked eye. Imagine what's going on the inside. For that, you gotta have a chat with your doctor on your next visit. All right, now the dairy. Now, the crazy thing about the dairy, when I first met my personal trainer at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, she was telling me all of this stuff, like, no dairy, this and that and the third. And I was like, what does young girl know? Like, I'm gonna have my dairy. So I was, having my dairy, whatever. And then a couple years later, something clicked in my head. I was like, wait, why am I feeling like I'm always bloated? And so then I was like, I wonder if it's the dairy. And so I took it out of my diet, and wouldn't you know, the bloating went away. Isn't that crazy? Now, I'm not saying to eliminate dairy. Everybody needs to eliminate dairy, but these are things to think of when it comes to how what you're eating can affect, your overall health, and your overall health does contribute to your skin health. Now, what I would suggest doing is keeping a diary of what you put on your skin, sort of like a day-to-day skin consistency diary, and also jot down like what you've eaten and how that might have affected how your skin looked. And then over time, you might notice some patterns. Now, where would you get such a consistency diary? Let me show you. There's the order in which your products go in. Now, obviously, you don't have to use every single step, but if you do have a multi-step routine, this is the order in which they go. And then you jot down your morning and your nighttime routine. You circle a day, and then you can make this your own. You can even write in like, this week I had a little, slice of pizza, and my stomach is, puffed out a little bit. Maybe you might have noticed a little acne or whatever. And then you can kind of figure out some patterns with your skin. So number 8. Now, this one is not directly related to skin health, but it does help with your overall health, which can then, of course, trickle down and help out the skin. And it is to monitor your physical activity. Now, I go to the gym 4 times a week. Why? I work out with a personal trainer, so I do a lot of weight training. But I also find that because I work from home, that I could be a little sedentary, I don't know if y'all can hear my asthma coming in. But I also found that I could be a little sedentary. So I got this stepper thing to kind of, influence me to move around more when I'm working. I also bought a desk, one of those like tall desks, so that like if I'm, jotting down some notes, doing some work on the computer, that I can be moving as much as possible. So I averaged about 8,417 steps this week. I would like to get that number above 10. You know, some days I hit 10. A lot of days I don't, but I get close. Now, what I've also added into my routine, which I need to, get back on now that, my schedule's a little bit more intact now that, my family's not visiting anymore, is going to walk on the treadmill for 2 miles after I've done my weight training exercise. So I try to do that 4 times a week after, I'm done in the gym. So through all of that, I hope to, average 10,000 or more steps per day. Now, for you, it doesn't have to be 10,000. Maybe you're only getting 1,000 a day, and then you inch up to 1,500 a day, and then you get to 1,500 and you inch up. You do it little by little, and consult your doctor before you do any physical activity, because I'm just here to give you the encouragement to move your body, but you ain't gonna be suing me because you ain't talked to your doctor first. So talk to your doctor first. But I think for most people, getting extra steps in won't hurt, but I don't know everything, you know what I'm saying? So talk to your doctor. Number 9, we have got to get some quality sleep. So for starters, we are only using the bedroom to sleep, and for, other activities, if you know what I mean. Get rid of them screens, turn that TV off, no doom scrolling on your phone. Don't even think about bringing your laptop in here. No work, just go to sleep, man. So which of these items from my list will you be implementing for this month? Let me know in the comments. And also, thank you for, trucking through this video with my, my voice is tired. I exercise my voice a little too much, but the show must go on. But coming up next, we're going to be talking about the things they do not tell you about skin aging. And point number 4 had a lot of people in my comment section buzzing. So click on it, and I'll see you there.